Salutations and welcome to another episode of Mustache Tips and Tricks. Today we're going to take a look at Warframe survival missions. Unlike endless defense missions, survival missions last as long as your life support lasts. There are two ways to replenish it, through capsules dropped by Lotus or personal life support pods dropped by enemies. Now loot is based on 5-minute increments with changing loot tables for that tier. Each of the 3 tiers has its own loot table that can include mods, credits, keys, and in the void, even prime parts. Each tier is split into 10 levels, 1 to 10, 10 to 20, and 20 and above, and follow a pattern for the loot of A, B, and C, and repeats. So with that all explained, let's get to some tips and tricks. First off, setup for these missions is important. Making sure you have effective damage mods on your weapon and a decent amount of health and shields will make it much easier to get higher numbers. Here, I have a pretty strong dread build for Corpus missions, using cryo and electric damage to reduce shields and let the natural slash damage do its work. But I'm going to change the elemental damage to gas for an infested survival, utilizing the natural slash damage for 25% bonus damage, and the gas elemental damage for an extra 75 of that. Having the advantage over the enemy type is what gets you past one cycle of loot. Here, I made the mistake of taking a burst fire weapon and puncture melee weapon into an infested assault. Needless to say, I had a hard time making it past the 15-minute mark with this setup, even though I was using one of my best suits. The right setup makes all the difference. Second is managing your life support. The capsules dropped by Lotus restore 30% of your life support, while the personal pods restore about 4%. With this, it's best to activate a Lotus pod at 60% remaining life support, leaving you with room to grab a couple personal ones if they've dropped. After the last update, the spawn timers for enemies changed a bit in the beginning of the match, making enemies spawn slower and having less personal pods drop over time because of this. However, after about 15 minutes, the enemies start spawning relatively quickly, and will drop more pods, making it easier to keep your life support above 0%. So for the first 15 minutes, you'll want to manage the Lotus pods carefully, trying to make sure you have at least 1 or 2 backups if needed. Third is know your limits. Pushing your max is always a good thing, but at the same time you need to know when to get to extraction. For example, I'm terrible at solo survival, and do things like this, and this, and this frequently, as I forget I don't have a team. However, with a team I'm able to support, or manage myself much better as I have people to watch, and watch my back in case I do something retarded. Knowing what you work well with is a simple tip, but one people forget frequently. Even though surviving 35 minutes by yourself is a pretty sweet feeling, sometimes it's best to work your way there with a team. Last is to have a good late game plan. When mobs start spawning at alarming rates, it's better to know how to manage them based on your suit and your teammates' suits if you have any. For solo survival, it's usually best to kite around rooms or maps to deal with large waves, while with teams, you may be able to hunker down in a single room and murder everything coming at you. Sometimes, a good strategy is to lure enemies to a choke point and murder them all in the face. If you find yourself at 0 life support, your health rapidly drains until you have 5 hit points, and will stay like this for 5 minutes before it eventually kills you. It's important to know where the exit is and be able to book your ass to extraction in that 5 minutes. Hope this helps, and thanks for watching.